Hi friends, and welcome to another fun video. Today I'll be creating a straight parametric box girder bridge in the classic family environment. I found a straightforward sketch of a box girder to replicate. While the design is simple, the techniques we'll use can be applied to more complex bridge models. We'll start by creating a 2D profile. Begin by opening a new metric profile template. Though it might be tempting to jump straight into designing the geometry, taking time to prepare will make the process smoother and avoid potential issues, especially for more complex structures. The first step is to set up reference planes. These planes act as a framework, constraining and supporting our geometry. With the framework in place, we'll move on to the geometry itself. Although it's possible to add annotations or set parameters now, we'll focus on creating the geometry. In the 2D metric family, this will involve drawing lines that form a closed loop. I recommend positioning the geometry slightly off the reference planes, as aligning it to the planes afterward provides better control. Remember to click the lock icon when aligning to keep everything constrained. Always constrain geometry to the reference planes rather than directly to other geometry. This approach ensures stability, reliability, and minimizes errors in the family model. The next step involves adding dimension lines, which play a crucial role in defining, controlling, and displaying the size and positioning of elements. They are essential for creating parametric relationships within a family by connecting them to the reference planes. When the value in the dimension line changes, the reference planes adjust accordingly. Next step, setting up our parameters, the brain of the family. Here are all the parameters and formulas that enable us to control the dimensions and the entire geometry of the family. Without parameters, you will have a stupid family, and no one wants a stupid family. For this box girder, we'll have a few parameters to keep the video shorter. The essential parameters include the width of both the top and bottom of the bridge, height and thickness for the top, bottom and web sections. With our parameters set up, the final step is linking them to the dimension lines. This way, when we edit a parameter, the dimension line updates, pushing the connected reference planes and adjusting the geometry accordingly. To link a parameter, select a dimension line, go to the top menu and choose Label. In the drop-down menu, you'll see all the parameters we just created. Select the appropriate parameter for each dimension line. Let's do some flexing, changing parameter values to ensure the model behaves as intended. Flexing lets you catch potential issues early on, preventing frustration at the end of creating a complex family. By testing and checking each step, you can spot and resolve problems before they become major obstacles. This 2D metric box girder family is tested and done. The next phase is creating the bridge as a 3D object. Open up a new family template. This time it will be a metric generic model. Load in the profile just created, making it a nested family. And a nested family is just a family inside another family. Great to use when there is a complex geometry you want to control as a whole in relation to other elements or many repetitive components in an array. As we will see later, it's easy to control the parameters inside the nested families in the parent family. Alright, so I will be using the sweep tool and constrain the end of the path to reference planes. And the profile I would like to select. Yes, it is the 2D profile I created and loaded into this family. Hit OK and the profile will sweep along the path created. Currently, the end user cannot access the 2D nested profile parameters when the parent family is loaded into the main Revit project. To make these parameters accessible, we need to connect them from the nested family to the host family. Working with nested families can be tricky, and it's easy to make mistakes in this process. I'll walk through how it works. First, we create matching parameters in the host family that correspond to the parameters we want the end user to access from the profile family. The parameters in the parent family or the host family are created. Now, I will connect them to the nested family. But first, the material. The geometry is selected, and in the properties menu, I find the material, and on the left, there is a little button. press it and select the material parameter. Next is the rest of the parameters. Go to the project browser, find the nested family under families, and right-click. The parameters on the screen belong to the nested family. On the right side, there is a tiny little button that says Associate. Press this and link the correct nested parameter to the parameter in the host family. Do this for all the parameters. The last parameter I will add is the length parameter. Forgot to create it, we'll quickly add it and connect it to the annotation. We'll set this parameter to type for now, but we'll change it later to instance so you can see the difference. We'll proceed with some flexing. Again, emphasizes how important it is to do it regularly. Just change all the numerical values one by one and give us visual proof that our box girder works. Quick side note, keep it simple. Don't overload the family with too many features that complicate the user experience. Keep it streamlined with a minimal number of parameters and a manageable file size. Just because something is possible doesn't mean it's necessary. Make it easy for the end user. Keep it simple. Alright, the box girder family is now loaded into the main project. Next, I'll add the concrete material. Locate B35. What a beauty. A perfectly parametric concrete box girder bridge. Notice the length parameter is currently a type parameter in the type properties dialog box, allowing it to be adjusted. Let's switch it to an instance parameter. Now it's located in the properties menu under the dimensions category, more accessible and user-friendly. Let's open the type properties box again for another check. You can even have a preview window here in plan view. I can now drag the bridge out to adjust its length. If length were a type parameter, this wouldn't be possible. As shown in the video, switching it to a type parameter limits flexibility. Reverting it to an instance parameter brings back the handles for easy adjustment. The final step is placing the box girder bridge on a longitudinal slope. First, open the family and confirm it's set to work plane-based, meaning it's associated with a specific work plane, such as a level, reference plane, or the face of another element, allowing more control over its orientation and position in the project. Create a reference plane, name it for easy identification, and select the box girder. Choose Pick New Face, navigate to the work plane, and scroll to the newly created reference plane. The bridge is now positioned at a sloped angle. By adjusting the slope of the reference plane, the box girder placed on that slope will also adjust. And that concludes this tutorial. Be sure to like and subscribe for more fun videos.